I've got a room to see in Gloucester Road. What's it like round there?
OK, good shops, pubs, plenty of buses, lots of students live there. It's not rough, but not smart either.
I bet you live somewhere smart, he said, appraising her tailored office suit with a crisp white blouse beneath.
Suburban, roses in the gardens and lots of trees, she said briefly, not inclined to talk about herself and her family.
What she wanted was to find out everything about this intriguing man before Carol arrived.
I'm Felicity Brown, but I'm always called Fifi. So what's your name?
Dan Reynolds, he said. And Fifi suits you. Pretty, like a little fluffy poodle.
I'm not fluffy,
she said indignantly. Her blonde hair was poker straight. She was 5'7", and she didn't go in for fussy clothes. At 22, she also had the distinction of being the youngest legal secretary ever to be taken on at Hodge, Barrett and Soames, one of the best solicitors in Bristol. I think the word I should have used was chick. Fifi smiled. She liked that description. So, Fifi, are you meeting a boyfriend? He asked. The waitress came back with Dan's coffee.
No, just a girlfriend,
Fifi said, watching him stir in 4 spoonfuls of sugar.
I usually meet her after work on Thursdays and we go to the pictures.
She was already hoping that Carol wouldn't turn up, or at least that she'd be late. Have you got a boyfriend?
No,
Fifi said truthfully.
What about you?
No boyfriend, he said, and laughed. I'm not that way inclined. I did have a girl a while back, but she left me for a rich bloke.
And were you heartbroken?
My pride was bruised, but it wasn't going anywhere. Just habit, really. They chatted easily for some time after Dan had finished his coffee. He didn't use any of the normal chat-up lines, not asking her about what music she liked, films she'd seen, or even what she did for a living. He didn't talk about himself either. Instead, he made observations about people around them and told her little fictitious stories about them to make her laugh. Fifi's mother, Clara, was always saying that the most outstanding thing about her eldest child was her nosiness. She claimed that as soon as Fifi could talk, she was asking questions about people, and it had caused her much embarrassment. Fifi was still every bit as nosy, but she had learned to phrase her questions in a way that sounded caring rather than prying. It was lovely to be with someone who appeared just as fascinated by others as herself. When the waitress came back to clear their table and rather pointedly put down the bills, Dan said he would have to go or he might lose the room. Could you do that map for me? He asked, casually picking up her bill and paying it along with his own. Fifi thought fast.
I could show you the way, she said. It's on my way home.
It wasn't, but he wouldn't know that. But what about your friend? He asked. Fifi shrugged.
She'd have been here by now if she was coming.
That wasn't true either. Carol was often kept late at work, and she'd be disappointed when she got here and found Fifi had gone. And if she were to find out she'd been stood up for a complete stranger, Fifi doubted she'd ever speak to her again. But there was something so compelling about Dan that she was quite prepared to take that risk. If you're sure, he said. I've only got to take a look at the room and grab it if it's okay. If you like, I could take you for a drink after. Fifi didn't want to look too keen, so she shrugged nonchalantly. But she had her coat on and whisked Dan and his small duffel bag, which appeared to hold his entire worldly goods, swiftly out of the door, before Carol could get there and prevent her.
I'll wait for you over here,
Fifi said, sheltering from the rain in a haberdashery shop doorway. The guest house Dan was looking for was across the busy road, and above a scruffy-looking newsagent's. The paint on the front door was peeling off, and the sign, Avondale, looked as if the lettering had been done by a drunk. Judging by the dingy nets at the windows, it was not going to be a home from home. You can't wait here,